All right, Shalom, Israel, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I love to give our praise, our honor, and our glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. The honors be to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who taught us his 100% truth. Shalom to the hope of the elect. Shalom to all the Akim, listeners truth and sincerity. Shalom to the sincere Aquas that may be out there watching and learning. It's your brother Yakov from the GMS Columbus, Ohio camp. Remember, I can get with their blessing through the Spirit. And today's lesson, Lord willing, I'm just going to touch on pride, the the excessive pride that this world harnesses. People very high-minded, heady, and arrogant. You know, people just thinking they too good. You know, which we can set the boundary. It's okay to hold yourself to a certain standard. A certain way of life, but understand also that we can't live life like we're just above anybody or above one thing, because at the end of the day, just as the Lord giveth, the Lord will take away. All right. So with that being said, okay, excuse me. With that being said, you can't live and think, well, you're just gonna be on top all your life, or you're gonna be able to live your life a certain way forever, because it don't work like that, right? Because the Lord can bring you to a lower state. Then what you gonna do? You see? So don't live your life thinking you this and that, shitting on the people around you, right? Like you just too good and you got this and you got that. Because when the Lord strip you, right, then what? You can't live like that no more. And it's funny, in the world we live in today, the Lord will strip you and people will still live and think that they just sold this and that. Whole time you at the bottom of the bottom, you know? So we'll start here. Proverbs 16:18 says, pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Man, people around here act like they shit don't stink, you know? People walk around, you know, like they just above everybody. You ain't above nobody. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of women out here that think they can't hear the word no, all type of shit, man. You know, you got men out here thinking they just the biggest, baddest beast on the land, the whole time. It's always someone above you. It's always someone below you, man. And that's why the scriptures speak about the Lord dealing with the humble. You see, because those will understand that you can be brought low, man. And what the hell you gonna do then? You still gonna be talking shit, right? Then you gonna have people gonna turn against you, man. Nobody want to be around nobody that just thinks so highly of themselves and this and that, right? So real quick, I looked up the definition for excessive pride because that's what this world harnesses, And we're in the midst of what they call Pride Month today, where the alphabet community is able to flaunt their shit, get parades and all that type of shit, And it's funny because a lot of that pride shit, it points at Jake, because Jake, Jake Minute, and that want to be a part of that community, they live oh so loud and oh so out there, doing some extra flamboyant shit for no reason. You know, it's that excessive level of pride, man. They getting all these benefits and all that shit. It's a hell of a world we live in, man. You know, everybody going through shit. Everybody is feeling something, right? So who are you to think that you just above, right? You know, with us, we got the spirit of the Lord. You know, we are seeking the kingdom. We know we are the greatest nation on earth, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. But at the end of the day, we still don't run around, you know, talking big shit and then just thinking we just, above it. We take the low, and the scriptures speak about that, taking the low. All right, letting the Lord bring exalt you. And Lord willing, we'll get that. Let me read this definition real quick. It says excessive pride, formerly known as hubris, refers to an extreme, inflated sense of self-worth, dangerous overconfidence or arrogance. See that? A dangerous, a dangerous overconfidence, right? Arrogance. You see, it says uh, overconfidence, the belief that one cannot fail, leading to reckless decision making. And that happens so much, you see, reckless decision making because they think that they can't be touched, that they can't be hurt, nothing can happen to them. You know what I mean? And then they get into some shit and it's like, damn, I'm fucked up now, you know? And yet it's people like that that'll still go back and do some bullshit again, right? Because they ain't learned their lesson having all that pride, right? But soon everyone will get a taste of that. All right, everyone that's living high minded and heady and thinking that they this and that, big bad wolf, all that, it will be cut off. All right. And everyone will have no choice but to be humble. All right. Because we all in subjection to the Lord at the end of the day, right? Because the Lord is the one that's graced anybody with anything that they have. You see? So who are you to think that you just did it on your own? That's people's favorite statements. I did this on my own. Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. All right. The Lord did that for you for a reason. Whatever reason that may be, that's between you and the Lord. All right. But don't think ahead of yourself. Okay. It says disdain for others, an attitude of superiority, contempt, or dismissal of other people's accomplishments, boundaries, or criticisms. See that? You accomplish something. You think you just better than anybody else. You be with that with one person. You tell them, hey, yeah, man, I did this, I did that. I graduated or somebody with all that pride gonna come through like, shit, I graduated with double honors. You know what I'm saying? I graduated ahead of my class. That ain't nothing, belittling you, things like that. That's how them people do, man. Ain't nothing wrong with being proud of your accomplishments, but don't belittle the next person because you think you better. That shit out, man. You know? Let's get a few more precepts. What's this? Psalms 10 and verse 4, it says, excuse me, the wicked through pride, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts, right? Because they thinking about themselves, right? And the scriptures speak about what's First Timothy 4, just speaking of the state of the people. Lovers of their own selves, you know. Let's just get it real quick. Let's just get it. Um, First Timothy 3, Salaki. First Timothy 3, I want to get to the point in verse 2. It says, for men shall, let's read it from the top, might as well. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, true spacers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. See that? But the point is in two, boasters, proud. See? Excuse me, lovers of their own selves, right? So back to the Psalms, the Lord is not meeting them in their thoughts, right? They're not thinking about the Lord. They're thinking about themselves and what they think they accomplished on their own, right? People don't give all the credit to the Lord, and that's a huge problem. People give credit to everything else, especially themselves, but decide to exclude the Lord, right? And that's that pride, right? And that's why the Lord is going to destroy you people, man. The Lord is going to show his hand, all right, to you people that think that you are above, right? You should be giving thanks to the Lord in every aspect and every circumstance of your life, even when you at your lowest. Being grateful that you even woke the hell up, man, right? Being grateful that you're able to get up and go to work. I know it hurts, tired as fuck, don't want to do nothing. It's part of it though. But be grateful that you're able to go out and make some money. Be grateful that you're able to make a move. You know, people don't even be grateful that they can make a move, but yet you want to live like you just all this and that. Hell no, man. What the hell? You should be grateful for all you people that got all that money. You should be grateful that you were able to live in a certain fashion, man. You know, you should be living your life with the understanding that, hey, man, one day this ain't gonna be my life. You know, one day this ain't gonna be my life. Who knows? You don't know. You know, you got to go with the motions. So who are you to just decide you just this big and bad motherfucker? And you just gonna be on top forever. You know, just like these crackers, these damn elites. All these say they're not gonna be on top forever. You see, they're not gonna be on top forever, man. The Lord's gonna throw all that shit down. I don't care how many billions of dollars you got. You know, you coming into them times, man. You know, so that pride is out the window. And even for us in this truth, you know, you got brothers that are well versed in the scriptures. You know, able to live a certain kind of lifestyle, even according to the spirit, you know. But you can't even get proud in that because the Lord can strip you from that as well. The Lord can strip the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from you, man. You know. So we can't boast above the next brother because we may know a little bit more, you know. It should be about edification, building one another up. All right. That's what it should be about, you know. So that pride applies to every aspect of life. It ain't just to rich people, you know. It happens amongst the poor too, you know, and that's where that humbleness needs to come in. All right. When you increase, when you increase, when you increase in any aspect of your life, you should become more humble. And this is a precept on it. And I've been thinking about it since yesterday because I was going to do this lesson yesterday, but I can't quite put my hands on it. But Lord willing, if I do come across it, I'll put it in the comment section. All right. But as you grow, you gotta decrease as well. And I expect that lead me to what um that John 3. Uh, see, I'm gonna start at 27 just to get a little context, you know. John 3, verse 27 says, John answered and said, "A man can receive nothing except it be given him from heaven." You see that? You can't receive nothing unless the Lord give it to you, right? And even those that are set for destruction and they might have this and that now, it's they have it for a reason. You might be at the bottom of the barrel for a reason, all right? But everything is given through the Heavenly Father. All right. The Lord has his vessels that send out what needs to be sent out, take away what needs to be taken away. And that's it. Right? The Lord giveth and he taketh away. You see? So you can't live life like you just got it on your own. That's what his favorite phrase. I got it on my own. I will know you didn't. Trust me. All right. Verse 28, you yourselves bear me witness that I am said I am not the Hamashiach, but that I am sent before him. Right? He that hath the bride is the bridegroom, but he the friend of the bridegroom, which standeth and heareth him, rejoiceth greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. This my joy therefore is fulfilled. He must increase, but I must decrease, you know? And that's very beautiful, man. You know, increase the Lord, right? Exalt the Lord's name, exalt the Lord's presence, right? Don't exalt yourself and put yourself on a pedestal, all right? We know our levels on the inside. We know where we belong. We know who we're serving. That don't mean we run around and live above our means and think we just popping big shit on motherfuckers, right? We hold ourselves to a standard and we live by it. But at the end of the day, we don't gotta flex. We don't have nothing. We don't have to flex. We don't have to flex because we understand that things can happen to us just as it happening to you motherfuckers. See? And that's just that on that, right? So if anything, we in a situation where we know we are above it, we don't boast. We won't do too much. Just remove ourselves and call it that, right? Because at the end of the day, and that's gonna lead me to my last precept. Um, So I can. Yep, here we go. You see, like I said, we remove ourselves, but at the end of the day, right? We don't got to put ourselves on a pedestal, right? With that being said, we know in due time we will all get our due diligence. All right. But Matthew 23 and verse 12, it says, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So at the end of the day, the humble is the ones that's gonna be exalted, right? The ones that took the low, the ones that, you know, hold the Lord first, right? The ones that are willing to be on the back end, in the background, you know. Those are going to be the ones that's going to be exalted in. Also, that's the men of the Lord, man. You see, the elect, the hopeful elect, right? You know, Lord willing, we are part of that number. You see, but more or less, man, we can't live with an excessive amount of pride and think we just above anything, man. All right, we're all subject to the flesh, man. All right, and everybody make mistakes. Everybody go off, right? So we continue our service to the Lord, right, and refrain from these different ways of life. All right, and all that pride that people decide to live by because they think they this and that. Just because you increase in knowledge or you increase in riches or you are increasing in treasures, whatever the case may be, that don't mean live above yourself. All right. I think you living above the Lord, you know? Because like I said, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. All right. So that's it, man. Lord willing, I was edifying. To give our praise, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Bakah Kodash. The honor again to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Shalom and the Baba Ball.